Glad to see you made it out alive, Ingvar. I take it the others didn't. Hakan becomes quiet. Then he motions toward Juno. You know, the Varl are really interesting. We had them talk about there not being any more Varl being made, and there's no Varl women. And you think about moments like this, really adds like that extra layer of depth of character, where it's like their whole thing was just like war and violence and like machismo and everything. You get to see how the different characters handle the fact that there's basically little to no Varl left anymore. Just within a matter of days, even not even like over the course of the months that the game takes place in. Like, what I think I didn't check the day counter, but I think it's like at least a year that passes since the start. Hakan basically became like a sort of Varl king in multiple ways. One through the death of what we can presume is one of his best friends, and then with the actual Varl king refusing to leave that hole in the ground for sentimental value, and basically dooming whatever Varl were left. Hakan's probably looking over the last Varl on the planet right now, outside of like whatever few are off in the rest of the world doing whatever it is. Like those circumstances are pretty rare. The thing for being king is that you basically don't have any time to mourn. And he's also like a military leader on top of that. And even then, you still just have like the oppressive weight of the situation around you here. There's just reality to look at. This is it. This may or may not be the end. Everything's kind of falling apart around you. One of the dredge demigods of, or even gods of sort, the Sunder, is leading a massive force just in this general direction for who knows why. And you had to go here, or he did. I can only imagine it's like a constant process of making peace of the situation. Not just because that's demanded of the position that he's in, but like I said earlier, just the reality of it all. Melting down and throwing a tantrum or crying over everything isn't really the way here. It's not going to help at all. At some point, he is going to have to Like someone would have to collect themselves and face what's happening. I wonder if this is supposed like this whole situation is meant to be symbolic of anything. It may not be. It could just be the natural course of the plot and where the characters end up, and supposed to be like a dramatic last stand type of situation. But the Dredge are kind of like an interesting take on like zombies, almost like the concept of the living dead. Where the real threat of zombies, like what makes them scary, isn't necessarily being eaten alive. Like that's kind of horrific. But the idea that they're just almost unstoppable, like the horde. Like you probably take one or two down, but it's supposed to be like largely representative of of the inevitability of death. I wonder how much of that was inspired for what's going on here. Not like being inspired from zombies in specific, but it's always really interesting to try to think about what kind of stories people are telling and like the elements that make up those stories. Because it always gives you something to think about and ponder on, and then maybe better yourself as a person in some way. Khan becomes quiet, then he motions toward Juno.